championship part of LeBron's legacy will be forgotten because, frankly, he is the best player of our lifetime.
Victory is a necessity. Victory is in my destiny.
Welcome to First Take Your Take, exclusively on Facebook Watch. Now, on Monday's show, we posed the question, did LeBron make the right decision in going to the Lakers? And now we welcome in this week's winner, Alex Strouf of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Welcome into First Take Your Take. How you doing?
I'm good, Rachel, Jason. Thanks for having me. It's an honor. Let's talk some basketball, huh?
That's going to be fun.
Yep. Let's get right to it. Let's get to this topic specifically. Alex, you said the Lakers need to get more than LeBron in order for this to be a success. Please tell us why.
Right, so if you don't mind, let me start with this. This move for LeBron is a good move for a couple things. Number one, merch sales are going to be through the roof. I mean, a Lakers jersey 23, that's going to make so much money. It's a great move for that, right? It's a great move for showing that pressure does not scare the king, Jason. I mean, obviously, this stage is huge. There's no basketball stage larger than Los Angeles, especially the Lakers. So showing that this stage does not scare the king, wonderful move. But it's also a good move for putting LeBron stuck at 3 rings for the time being, because in this conference, you and I are in agreement here, you've said it before, he's not going to win. I mean, he will not win. Look at this supporting cast around him. There's no Kawhi, no Boogie, no Paul George. They're not there right now. He's got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, LeVar Ball's son, a washed-up Rajon Rondo, Lance Stevenson, who likes his ear more than basketball, and JaVale McGee and Brandon Ingram. I mean, this supporting cast is just as bad, if not worse, as this Cavaliers team he brought to the finals this past year. Players are remembered by their greatest moments, right? We look at Michael Jordan. He was remembered for the big shots, the great shots, the big moments, 2 3-peats. When we look at LeBron, we're going to remember him for 8 straight finals and taking really bad teams to big stages. The finals, right? The 07 Cavaliers team. This past year, the 2018 Cavaliers team. We'll remember him for that. And now I think this Lakers run, and it's premature to say this, but it might be something we choose to forget about because he's not going to win.
Choose to forget about it? I mean, how are we possibly going to choose to forget about an era of the greatest player of our generation, probably the greatest player of all time? I understand that this may not work out. I understand he may not win championships, but whatever he does in L.A. is only going to grow the legacy of LeBron. As much as we want to say it's all about championships, we need to accept the fact that super teams now exist, and super teams exist at such a level. The consciousness of sports fans has changed so much that what we're talking about today are championships. What they'll be talking about in 5 years is the Lakers and the ability for LeBron to rebuild that roster. If they stick with all the guys you just talked about, the Lakers have one opportunity here you haven't mentioned, and that's the future. As much as I think they should go in and win right now, they're situating themselves to be able to utilize LeBron while they develop the future, which will then make them relevant. Otherwise, what was the path? The Lakers were getting no closer to relevance in the last 5 years and missing the playoffs. By adding LeBron, at the very least, they've taken the biggest market that they needed, and they've made them relevant. That is great for basketball. That's going to be great for LeBron's legacy, championship or not. The championship part of LeBron's legacy will be forgotten because, frankly, he is the best player of our lifetimes.
That's fair. Probably not of yours, because let's remember Michael Jordan. And there was a period in his career that everybody chooses to forget about, and he was still leading a team in points per game. Remember that Wizards era, Jason? It wasn't a very one we choose to remember. But back to your point. I mean,
but it was the Wizards. Wait. It was the Wizards. We're not talking about the Lakers. It was the Wizards. I mean,
that's fair enough, but it was still the greatest player probably of your generation. I was born in '98. I didn't get to see Michael Jordan.
You just called me old. You just called me old. You went straight for the old guard.
I'm not calling you out. I'm young.
Now, I mean, look, you're young. That was Fat Michael. Okay, Fat Michael. Anything happening for Fat Michael doesn't count towards the legacy.
Fair enough. Well, let's get away from Michael. Let's go back to LeBron. I mean, looking at him in L.A., I mean, yes, they have the future, but let's remember, LeBron's going into year 16. Him playing at his peak is no longer a guarantee. I mean, he's coming off, debatably, and we can agree here, one of the best seasons of his career. But he's getting older. Injuries are more likely to happen at this point. He's going to wear down. Fatigue's going to set in. He's getting older.
Have we not learned? What bubble are we living in, though? Have we not learned anything from looking at Tom Brady? I mean, every stinking year, it's the year, the decline of Tom Brady, and then all he does is continue to be great. There's a point where, as much as we want to talk about the decline of LeBron, he should have been the MVP last year.
But Jason, nothing is a guarantee anymore. You need to win now if you have LeBron at the peak he's at. I mean, he's playing at such a high level like he did last year. You need to win now. They need to go out and get Kawhi. Kawhi doesn't want to play it with him anymore because he's a diva. Kyrie didn't want to play with him. Paul George didn't sign there. Boogie took the easy way out. You can't win right now with LeVar Ball's son and Kyle Kuzma, who, don't get me wrong, the future's bright. You said it. The future is very bright for this young Los Angeles team. However, it's not where it needs to be right now for LeBron to win. This is maybe the 7th or 8th best roster right now in the Western Conference. Winning is important, Jason. Although we don't want to talk about it, it's very, very important to a legacy like a guy named LeBron James.
And I do completely agree with you. I believe that they're in win now mode. If you watch First Take this week, I'm not going to reverse my stance on that. They are in win now mode. The judgment of LeBron won't just be, though, and through all of it, won't just be in the way they win. It'll be in the way he leaves this franchise. What state is this franchise in? Because as much as we want to talk about the Cavaliers and how they're going to be irrelevant for a generation, the Lakers won't stand for that. If he's able to get people over, especially next summer, if he's able to land other free agents that do want to play with LeBron, if he's able to take the Lakers and put them on a path that leads to a championship, even if it doesn't happen while he's there, if he's the impetus that gets them to championship level basketball, that will be remembered as part of his legacy and part of his positive for bringing the Lakers back to relevance.
Yeah, that I can agree with. I think First Take, I think you were there when you talked about they cannot wait to put a statue outside of LeBron James, because if he does that, I mean, obviously he cements his legacy as the GOAT. There is no question about it. If he can lead this team to a championship, but let's face the facts, man. LeBron's got what? Let's say, I mean, this is a 4-year deal. So in the next 4 years, this team isn't going to win a championship. But I want to hit another point real quick while we still have time. I mean, this is bad for basketball. It's good for basketball, but it's also bad for basketball. The good point is, obviously, you've got your biggest player in the best market, right? But the bad part is your best player isn't winning. And your league is better when your best player is winning constantly.
No, your league's not better. You're going to get ratings. You know the ratings that we're going to – how many of us on the East Coast are going to have to stay up until 1 in the morning to watch LeBron play for the Lakers? You absolutely want your best player, your biggest draw. You put your best player over here because then all of a sudden you're spreading out –
like you and I.
No, you're spreading –
hardcore fans like you and me.
You're spreading your assets out. You're spreading your assets out all day. At the end of the day, we are going to watch Golden State all day. We are going to watch the Rockets all day. The Celtics and the 76ers are growing into teams that we're going to watch all day. The only reason to watch the Lakers right now, finally, is LeBron. They give themselves more teams that matter in the biggest TV market other than New York that they possibly can. It's good for basketball to spread all of these assets out.
But you brought up Tom Brady. Tom Brady's constantly winning. I'm sorry, Rachel. I'm sorry.
I got to cut you off. You're getting a real taste of First Take. I have to cut you off because
it's true.
That's all we have for today. That's all for our show. Congratulations again to Alex Strouf of Green Bay, Wisconsin. I thought you did a fantastic job.
Awesome job,
I want to know what you guys think out there. So make sure you write us with your final takes in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to watch First Take Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Awesome job, Alex.
Good job.
Thanks, Jason. Great job. It was a pleasure.